The crypto space never ceases to amaze me. Take a look at this tweet by Jim Cramer, for example. Do you feel as reassured by Binance as I do? We all know usually when Jim Cramer says something, you should do the exact opposite to make yourself money. And so CZ responded by saying, "Oh Jim, please don't use Binance for the sake of everyone else." Half joking. Now that on its own would be kind of funny because Jim Cramer is literally a walking terror machine. I don't know how else to describe it. Does he talk well about your project? It's gonna go down. But I guess that's why he quickly changed his mind, because only 2 days later, he said, "I would trust my money more in some gambling platform, I think, than I would Binance." And again, funny enough, Loopify said, "We are saved." As again, everybody does almost always do exactly the opposite of what Jim Cramer tells us to do. Now everybody's joking, we're safe, and even Udi is asking, did you pay him to tweet that? Because I would have. As again, every time he tweets something, it doesn't work out. Side note, and take a look at this. Pretty juicy news. The Bank of International Settlements announces a new policy that allows banks to hold 2% of the reserves in cryptocurrency. Can you imagine? 2%? Now, on its own, 2% doesn't seem like a very big deal. But if you think about it, like Selena says right there, what exact coins will they be buying? And that means they will literally have 2% of the entire bank's reserve in crypto. That is huge. Now, before we move on, I should state one thing. Over the last couple of months, we've been talking a lot about Ripple and XRP, mostly in the lawsuit setting. However, I want to bring one thing back to the channel, talk more about what Ripple/XRP is achieving in their respective fields, and also some researches we found and some new updates or hypotheticals. For example, Wrath of Kahneman always shares some juicy information, and he says, tracking. Data 443 is a Ripple partner offering data security and privacy, including via the XRP ledger. They run a unique node list validator, and recent report of a $350,000 contract noted an agreement with a leading global investment bank headquartered in New York with $2 trillion in assets using their data solution. This contract addition relates to ad licensing for Data 443 Data Placement Manager and an HPE nonstop server-based app for secure managed file transfer, enabling customers to schedule, route, format, and securely transfer business-critical data over public and private networks. The obvious questions then, who is the investment bank? Might XRP Ledger or Ripple be involved? And further, we are recently invested in $750,000, moving and look to uplist it to bigger exchanges soon. So a little bit vague the wording, but you guys understand the idea. It's just believed that Ripple is actually putting their foot in a lot more deals than might meet the eye. A lot of it is still going on in the background, and very often you have to kind of really search and dive deep and look deep to see whether or not Ripple is actually involved, and potentially the XRP Ledger is involved. Again, this is a partner of Ripple doing something. It's not necessarily Ripple, but this is what the people have been puzzling out for years. Because in my opinion as well, to truly find undervalued gems and to truly estimate the actual value, you need to find all these deals. But the fact they're keeping it hidden from you, again, showcases to me it is so extremely undervalued. We don't know 1% of what's going on with crypto in reality because all these guys are keeping it secret. Again, you have to understand this whole BIS announcement as well. This is not just some sort of let's quickly do this. No, the demand was there. These guys have been requesting it like crazy. And so now finally the BIS was like, okay, we can't stop it any longer. We'll give you that 2%, all right? But that's it. And then in another year or two, they're going to add it to, let's say, 10%. And then another year or three, they're going to add it to, let's say, 25% or whatever. The demand is there, but you're not seeing it just quite yet. Again, if you really pay close attention, you'll notice guys like BlackRock, for example, and even some of the major traditional stock exchanges, they're starting to really shift towards this crypto game because they know it's important. They know it. And they've actually stated it publicly as well. A lot of the major banks are being indecisive by saying, no, we like it, but it's dangerous. Oh, no, but we don't like it, but we do like it. Very confusing lingo, and I think it's all on purpose. If all of a sudden they were completely bullish on on crypto all the way, the price would skyrocket. And they don't want that because they want to buy in and their clients want to buy in. So it's logical that they keep the prices low. There's also a little bit of stuff that happened in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, 2 specific pieces that I didn't cover before because they were rather small. But hey, small things matter too. So yeah, basically it's regarding lawyers. Take a look. Attorney Rodrigo Serra has filed a motion to appear prohibits on behalf of Amicus Curiae Paradigm Operations LP. So that's basically just actually Jeremy Hogan, a lawyer, had an even easier explanation than I would have had. Is just an attorney for an amicus brief filing a request with the court to be able to file stuff in the case. Seems pointless at this point since there's not much to be done. In my own words, there's a specific lawyer that's been hired by Paradigm, and that specific person now, on behalf of their law firm, wants to file documents from now on forward. Basically, that person wants to also be involved in all this. The reason Jeremy says it seems pointless is because, well, basically almost every single document that we needed has already been published and put out there. It's mostly just the judge needing to make decisions right now. So it's kind of confusing as to why exactly they did that. It's like, do they still want to file some sort of paper in the near future? Are we missing something now? Well, one thing that also happened, which is again pointless, so to speak, is another attorney from Brad Garlinghouse actually quit. That's it. She just quit working with this specific law firm, Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen, and Hamilton LLP. She will no longer be associated with that law firm, and so, yeah, she also quits the case. It's as simple as that. Again, if this were to state something else other than she will no longer be associated with the law firm, I would have thought something of it, but this is just a person quitting their job, so to speak. Again, these lawyers are not committed to the core to just one case. These guys also have jobs as well, so this means absolutely nothing. And even if it does, we won't know until we know, I guess. Also, a little piece from the Ripple community, I guess, regarding FTX. Stuart Alderty of Ripple challenges FTX venture investors to set the SEC straight. Now, specifically, Kevin O'Leary and all the other investors, venture ones, in FTX should immediately demand that the SEC stop spending taxpayer money on its tag-along case against Sam Bankman-Fried, since that case only seeks to recover on their behalf. So let's just give this one a little listen, shall we?
Just one question about the creditors, just your opinion on it, since you're trying to get on the creditors committee. If they do recover money, that money that goes back, what should the order of the creditors be? Who should get paid back first? The people who actually lost their money that they were asking them to hold, or contractors and spokespeople? Like, where should that fall in your opinion?
My opinion about this is, when you become an advocate for getting it back on a credit committee, you take care of the small people first, the people that lost their money. I don't mean small people. I mean people that diminishment amounts inside their accounts. They're hurt the most. And so it's not that the shareholders, of which I'm included, I'm in both of these groups, I don't think we should get anything back. We're venture investors. We're big boys. We lost our money. We understand it. I don't want anything back there until the people that had money in the accounts get theirs back. That just seems fair. And I really, because we know as venture investors, we're going to get it wrong 80% of the time. And here's another one. But there's something wrong with sweeping somebody's account of their assets. Where is that money? That's the question I have, and everybody on the committee is going to want the same answer. And so does John Ray. This is a classic case, and he said it himself this week in front of the Senate too. This is just follow the money.
Yeah, so again, to quickly paraphrase, as I'm not sure if this video is going to be blocked by some sort of copyright eventually, so I'll just quickly give you guys the rundown. The video is about Kevin O'Leary basically stating that the people that invested in FTX, they're venture investors. You know, they get it wrong 80% of the time. They lose a lot of money very often because, well, sometimes you win and then you win very big. He basically now states as well, they as venture investors, well, if there's money left, they should get it back, but basically they shouldn't get any money back at all. All the people that lost their money in the accounts, they should get the money back, and that's what they all most likely agree with. Now then, to get back to the wording, the shareholders, this is a quote, of which I'm included, I don't think we should be getting anything back. We're venture investors, we're big boys, we lost our money, we understand it, says Kevin O'Leary. I don't want anything back until the people who had money in their accounts get theirs back. And Stuart Alderty of Ripple said Kevin O'Leary and all the other venture investors in FTX should immediately demand that the SEC stop spending taxpayer money on its tag-along case against Sam Bankman-Fried, since that case only seeks to recover on their behalf. As again, the SEC's main mission is to protect U.S. investors, right? That's what we talked about before. So what the SEC is primarily doing is making sure that the people who invested their money in FTX and in Sam Bankman-Fried indirectly get their money back, but not the people that were hurt the most, not the consumer, literally, that just had their money stuck in there. Point being, all these investors then should kind of stand up, but they don't want to. Why am I saying that? Well, think about it right now. Think about it. The SEC is fighting for these investors to get their money back. These investors themselves are saying, no, we don't want our money back. Please, all the people that lost it, that needed more, take it, take it. But as long as they only say that and don't actually act and protest, the money's going to most likely go back to them. So it's a win-win, double whammy win for them. They can act, oh, I don't want this money, give it back to the people. And all the while, they can just sit there and let the SEC handle it, because that way they get their own money back. It's a genius plan. And so for that reason, the more and more it looks as if all this stuff is being orchestrated in the background, At first, when I read all that, I was like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But really, the more I dive in, the more I'm thinking, well, it does indeed make a little bit of sense. As Sam Bankman-Fried, Caroline Anderson, and whatnot were so attached to Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler has been doing some really crazy shenanigans in the Ripple case as well. He's just been, in my own opinion, personal opinion, not been doing a very good job at the SEC. Just too much power grabbing in a strange manner. It wouldn't surprise me if this is all orchestrated as well. But yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily crypto updates. And see you guys again in another one, hopefully later today or tomorrow.